Hey guys, my name is Peyton Brady. Are you interested in expanding your food palette? Well, have you ever tried Mexican food? Because if you haven't, then I have a surprise for you. Coming from somebody that is a very picky eater as myself, I would have to say that Mexican cuisine is one of my favorites. And this is also coming from somebody that is not a very big fan of spicy food, and that is a staple in many Mexican style dishes. I've been to Mexico 6 times in my life. I've been to Cancun twice, Puerto Vallarta twice, and Cabo twice. And it has caused me to gain an immense respect for the food that is served there. And there's so much more that I've still yet to try. And there are 7 regions in Mexico. And let me start this off by saying that I took 3 years of Spanish in high school, and pronunciation was not necessarily my strong suit. So if I mispronounce any of these, then I apologize. The first region is the North region, which they're famous for their grilled beef, which they throw in fajitas, as well as machaca. The second region is the North Pacific Coast. And in the North Pacific Coast, they have a very good pozole, chilorio, and many other pork-style dishes. In the Bajío, which is the third region of Mexico, they serve a morisqueta, which is a sausage and rice dish. And they also serve a deep-fried pork, which is something that I haven't tried yet, but I'm very interested in trying as an American because it sounds very delicious. The South Pacific Coast is where they have a Oaxacan cheese, which is named after a city in Mexico called Oaxaca, as well as 7 different types of mole, which range in spice as well as food in the mole. The fifth region is the South region, which they are known for their achiote spice, as well as their meat wrapped in banana leaves, which at first I just assumed it was some sort of a peel which made food look better. But actually, after doing some research, I found out that the banana leaves are actually a cheap way to sort of rid the meat of any foodborne illness that might be on the meat. So it's actually a healthy way of sort of serving the dish. The sixth region is the Gulf region, which is where they're going to get a lot of their citrus fruits, such as papaya and mamey. And last but not least, the central Mexico. And this is going to be more of where they have their street cuisine, such as taco stands or sandwich shops. Now let me preface this by saying that in Mexico, they don't necessarily have the same food regulations as we do in America. So kind of the rule of thumb when you're down there is going to be if there are no customers at a taco stand or a restaurant, then there's probably a reason for that. And that is because they have been known to serve unhealthy foods in the past that will get many people, especially those that are not from the area, that'll get them sick. So definitely sort of go towards the restaurants or taco stands that you see a lot of people already eating at. And in my time in Mexico, these have been some of my favorite dishes. So the first one is going to be fajitas with grilled beef. This was the first dish I ever tried in Mexico, and it was very intimidating because they, when they're coming out and serving it, it's very sizzling and very loud, and there's smoke rising up from it, so it was very intimidating when I was younger, but I ended up loving it. Another dish that I've tried is the morisqueta, which is one of my favorite dishes of all time. It's something that my mom makes, my mom just makes the sausage and rice, which obviously in Mexico it's going to be very different, other spices and beans as well. And I've also tried the street cuisine, which I was very careful for. I was warned before going into Mexico about the risks of it. I've also tried papaya, which is something I was not a super big fan of at first, but as I tried more often, I became much more interested in it. And I've also tried the meat wrapped in banana leaves, which is kind of a shock at first because I was very confused what it even was. But after finding out that it's actually a healthy alternative to most foods, I sort of gained more respect for it. And you might be wondering if you're vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, what options they have for you. And Mexico still has enough. For vegetarian options, they have tacos and quesadillas, which are typically served with meat, but you can ask for them without meat, and you can substitute either more cheese or maybe some beans in there. And I've also seen a sweet potato and black bean burrito at many restaurants and stands in the area. Now for vegan options, there is pozole with corn, potatoes, carrots, which pozole is sort of a soup. And there's also an enchilada, which you can ask for with rice, beans, and potatoes to fit the vegan diet. And the last dietary restriction that I'm going to be covering is the gluten-free diet, which they have crispy cauliflower tortillas which is sort of a substitute to flour tortillas, which have gluten in them. And they also have corn tortillas that don't have gluten. And you can make this into baked chicken taquitos or a corn tortilla and chicken soup. Overall, Mexico has a very diverse food group, and I'm sure everybody who loves spicy food especially is going to love any sort of Mexican food. Thank you for listening.